Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. And those of you who have checked in with us each week, you know this is an area, a time when we elevate and celebrate the driver and everything they do for us, everything they do for the country. And, of course, here at Norton Transport, we don't move cargo, we don't move freight, but we move the trucks that move the freight. And we have a very special guest with us this evening. His name is Bryant Robinson. Bryant, how are you?
All right.
Well, Bryant, you know, we spoke earlier about getting together on the podcast here, and I didn't even ask when we spoke before we started recording, where are you now?
Well, I just recently left High Point, North Carolina.
Gotcha. Now, we should go ahead and clarify. This is a late night edition of the Six Figure Trucker. Of course, you will hear this at the same time on your podcast each Thursday. But we're recording getting close to the midnight hour. It's a little after 11. And, of course, Bryant, I guess life as a truck driver, you never know where you're going to be, what time it's going to be.
Right. You never know. So,
how do you cope with that?
Well, it's all about timing, dealing with this, timing and planning, so you got, so once you adjust to that right there, it's like a walk in the park, but,
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, do you deliver tomorrow being Wednesday?
Yes, I'll deliver it tomorrow.
So are you halfway, more than halfway? Are you bedding down for the night, obviously?
Yeah, I'm a bed down. And I should be there, another, I say probably about 12, 1 o'clock, somewhere like that tomorrow when I crank back up.
I got you. Now, you don't have to name the brand, but I'm assuming you're in a hotel now?
Yeah, Hilton.
Okay.
Hotel.
Got you. Now, when you're traveling, when you're doing loads for us here at Norton Transport, do you have a preference of where you stay, or do you do it by the dollar sign?
Well, I kind of do a little both. It depends, you know what I'm saying? Because it depends on the area I am. Sometimes, they might have some events going on, so the rates be outrageous. So you gotta
be flexible.
Yes.
I guess, when you're talking about flexibility and planning and overnight stays at a hotel, you made a good point that you may be going through a city that has an event going on. Maybe it's a ball game, maybe it's a concert, something like that. And you got to make alterations. Will you go away from that city, even if it makes the most sense geographically? Will you go ahead and say, I'm going to go on to the next town?
Yes, most likely, because majority of the time, if you don't book ahead of time, they sold out. So you'll have to go to the next town.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
Which town are you laying your head in tonight?
Well, right now I am in Georgia, and I'm near the Atlantic Station area downtown.
Oh, okay. So you picked up in North Carolina. You're staying in Georgia. So which direction are you headed tomorrow?
Montgomery.
Oh, okay. So
I'll take I-20 straight down.
I got you. So you're just cutting across and kind of splitting it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, I had to ask you this question. I was looking up your information in our system at Norton Transport, and I saw your handle is Super B. That's Super B like a bumblebee, but tell us the story behind how Super B came to be your handle.
Well, it's like a nickname my granddaddy gave me, so I kind of stuck with that because I love running around doing stuff, adventure stuff, and just, and he gave me the nickname Super
B.
Yeah, B, So.
Now, Super B, were you a young boy when your grandfather gave you this nickname?
Yeah, I want to say probably about 6, 7 years old.
Were you running all over the place, a kid with a lot of energy?
Yeah, super energy.
Do you still have that today?
Ooh, that's hard to say. That's a 50-50 question.
Now, being Super B and having energy as a child and hopefully being able to tap into it now as an adult, how much does that help you for the toils and the long hours on the road?
Well, when you're on that road, you really have to, adjust to all situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you don't get the proper sleep, it'll come down on you. So I try to get the proper sleep at all times so I can, handle that road and my decision. I'm trying to drop the truck on time. It's all about timing with me. So sometimes my day start, it might be when you sleep.
Right. I got you.
So
speaking of sleep, you make a very good point, and we've talked to a few drivers here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport, about sleep and the importance of it, because when you're on the road, how many hours of sleep do you like to get on a trip? Let's say you're taking a truck, let's say 1,800, 2,000 miles, so you've got to sleep at least 2 nights, maybe 3. How much sleep do you like to get in that time period?
Well, I do my 10, that's required.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I can stay on task, until I can, drop my truck off. So, it's like I say, everything's about timing, and your time be changing in different states. Sometimes you lose hours. When you go on the West Coast, you might lose 3 hours.
Right.
So, so you got to readjust. You know what I'm saying? So,
is it a difficult process to readjust, or is it something you've become accustomed to?
Well, I came accustomed to that, but at the very beginning, it was kind of shaky. I had to, adjust to it. Going from one area, East Coast Central Time, and then you got the West Coast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it kind of throw you off a little bit, even with your sleep.
I got you.
Because you got daytime, nighttime.
Kind of elaborate some about, we were talking about sleep, but also quality of sleep and how alert and aware you got to be. Let's kind of drill down on how important that is. I mean, it seems obvious, but as a driver who does it on the daily, how important and where do you want to be? Do you know when you're not where you need to be as far as, hey, I'm not on top of my game, I'm not 100% aware and alert today?
Well, one thing about me, if I need some rest or I need to pull over or whatever the case may be, because by me traveling a whole lot, I see a whole lot. And I see a lot of fatality accident. And you got to stay alert, you know what I'm saying, at all times. Not one time you can't miss a beat. You know what I'm saying? If you look down wrong, it could be over with for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention. You got to trust your mirrors.
Be on top of your game.
At all times.
Now, you said you've seen some accidents and some fatalities. Obviously, guys like you, drivers like you canvass all over the country and you see freeways, highways, country roads, windy roads.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of roads.
Yeah.
What kind of impression did that make on you when you see these gnarly accidents or even in the worst cases, fatalities?
I'm the type of person, I wish I can help, the situation. Sometimes, you want to stop, not just be nosy, but at the same time, when you see something like that, you really want to do all you can to help the person. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just recently seen a truck burn straight to the ground.
A big truck and a tractor?
Yeah, it was a tractor. Straight to the ground.
Was the driver anywhere visible, or the driver already left the scene?
Where this driver, he had enough time to, pull away from his trailer and pull the truck up some from away from the trailer.
Gotcha.
And then, so that probably was a leak from the depth tank or something like that. For that to happen.
I mean, when you see something like that, obviously you're empathetic toward it and compassionate toward it for the loss of the equipment and the trauma for the driver. but does it resonate with you to the point that you're like, that could be me?
At all times, it can be. At any time, it can be you. And it ain't always got to be your fault.
Right.
It could be some other driver, or it could be the person in the tractor. You know what I'm saying? He done fell asleep. She done fell asleep. Coming your way,
Mm-hmm. I guess when you see something like a fire like that happening, it could obviously be something mechanical, something that happened that caused that fire, triggered that fire. But I guess it's something when you think about prevention, does that kind of underscore the pre-trip inspection for you?
Yes. If you can inspect the truck as much as you can, you need to do so. You got to know your truck.
Walk us through a PTI. Kind of give us what your pre-trip inspection's like. If take, for example, the truck you're in now. What was your pre-trip like today?
Well, my pre-trip was this truck. When I first inspected, I always, check up on my hood, my tire, the drive shaft. I check all over, make sure my gauge is up to par.
Gotcha. Have you ever done a pre-trip where you found a truck and you're like, I'm not driving this truck?
Yeah. Sometimes you can hear a seek of air, some air.
Mm-hmm.
I listen for sound when I do my pre-trip. Sometimes because you can lose pressure from just a little pinhole, and it'll be seeking.
That could lead to much bigger problems down the road, no pun intended.
It will. You need to take care of that right away, or just whoever you get in the truck from, they might have to, fix that problem because it wasn't on you,
Gotcha.
At that time.
Gotcha. Now, what type of truck are you in right now?
I'm in a 26-footer Penske box truck.
Box truck. Now, we know this from looking at your background and looking at your profile. At Norton Transport, you are a non-CDL driver. Tell us, from your perspective, do you see many differences and or similarities to the CDL drivers?
Well, they see a little more, that I can't see, like for us dump trucks and tractor. The tractors, but for the most, we still do about the same amount of miles, what I'm saying? So, we all get paid different, what I'm saying, for us the mileage, but I don't see no different, what I'm saying? But, I enjoy what I do, what I'm saying? As long as you enjoy what you do. And I feel like Norton pretty much take care of their non-CDL. I ain't had no problem,
Well, you're in my head, and there's plenty of room there. But just wanted to ask you, do you find enough work, enough trucks to drive as being a non-CDL guy?
Yes, I do. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I've been doing pretty good. But, everybody, set a goal of what they trying to do weekly,
Mm-hmm.
So, that's up to them because everybody got a different, overhead or whatever they got going on. So,
Gotcha.
but with me,
it's been good.
It's been good to me. I ain't got nothing bad to say, but it would be something that if Norton, the company itself, can bring up some type of program for the non-CDL driver to help them get their license through them, and then and they can sell.
I got you. I got you.
But, yeah.
Now, for Super B being on the road, what's your goal? What's your expectation for a week? Do you say, I need this many loads? I need this many miles? How do you look at it?
Well, for me, I truly, I used to just come straight back home. I do my little South Carolina, North Carolina, and I'm back home. But now I've been like stretching it out, going to Minnesota, going, going all over, what I'm saying? So, mileage is not a problem to me, what I'm saying? Cause I know how to calculate my mileage with my hours, so I know
Gotcha.
what it take, how much fuel will it take, all of that.
Now, you were saying that you previously were doing the shorties, the short runs, but now you're stretching out on the miles. How do they compare to each other? Obviously, you're going to make more money on the long runs. For you personally, which ones do you prefer?
Well, I mean, like now, I really, you know, I stretch out for like 4 days now, but I used to just come on back home, same day, do a turnaround. I'm coming back,
Well, you live in a
So,
good place to do the turnarounds. You live in Riverdale, Georgia?
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I catch my Rodale and I catch my Griffin, a Madison, something like that, to start my day off sometime.
Gotcha.
It works out for me.
Now, Riverdale is, what is that, south of Atlanta?
Yeah.
Got you. Born and raised there?
I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And, I just get out.
What's it like for you as far as dealing with Atlanta traffic, whether you're going to pick up a load or you got a load coming through Atlanta or you're coming home? Everybody knows, particularly around the country and particularly in the Southeast, Atlanta traffic is a bear.
Yeah, but it ain't that bad to me. If you're going through the city, then you're going to catch it. But you stand on the outskirts, 285 or something like that, it moves. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it to each his own because, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of used to Atlanta traffic. So, that's just like me going on the West Coast and I say, hey, what is this? Going to LAX or something like that. And it's a mess going up there.
That was my next question. In all your travels, which city's got the worst traffic that you've experienced?
I want to say LA. LAX, like going to LA. It's a mess.
How long were you stuck in traffic?
Ooh, I guess, it depends on what time you coming through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming through like when people getting off work. So you're looking at 4 o'clock. You're looking at the hours, slow. Because you got people. It don't always be an accident. There be people getting off at the same minute.
Right.
So that what slows you.
Well, when you're in your position where you're driving for a living and, time is money, how do you cope with that? How do you deal with it? I mean, we've talked to a number of drivers about traffic, and as many have said, there's nothing you can do about it. But your attitude, how do you approach it as far as your demeanor toward traffic?
Well, I have a lot of patience, so that really don't bother me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, it's all about timing. So if I get a head start, I already added my traffic in a head start.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I get up right in front of that traffic. You know what I'm saying? Because I did a head start.
Try to do the timing and the planning to beat that rush hour traffic.
Yes. That's why I like sometimes, it depends on where I'm going and picking up from and, do they allow me, or do they have 24 hours pickup or something like that? I like driving at nighttime, going into the morning time.
So you like to drive at night?
Yeah.
You make better time?
It's just better time, less traffic, less hassle with DOT, all of that.
I got you. You're listening to Bryant Robinson giving us some advice and stories from the road here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Bryant, we got to ask you, Super B, non CDL driver, live in the greater Atlanta area. You've been doing this for a minute.
Well, I've been driving, like, I want to say a couple of years now, about 7 years.
Gotcha.
And
how did you fall into it? How did you get into it?
With Driveaway, or just driving, period.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got an uncle that's been in this business like for 30-something. It's in the DNA.
Gotcha. You kind of fell into his footsteps?
Yeah. We got that grind in us.
I got you. Well, it certainly helps to have that patience too.
Yeah, you got to have patience. I also, I help a lot of people too with this kind. A lot of my phone ring. It rings off the hook.
From other drivers?
People get for other drivers. We network, but, if somebody in a bad situation, I'm there. My phone stay on 24 hours.
That's cool,
Try to
Brian.
help the
We
situation.
certainly appreciate that. And even more so, the drivers, I'm sure they appreciate that. You talked about networking.
Yeah.
What kind of things go on within the network as far as, well, let me back up for a second. I would imagine your network is all non CDL drivers.
No. All CDL drivers as well.
So they talk to you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
What kind of
Yeah,
things do you guys talk about? What are some of the hot topics in that network circle there?
We mainly, a lot of some CDL drivers, they logs. Some of them still have problems with, but like I say, I help a lot of people. I'm there to walk them all the way through the process. Whatever they need, I'm there.
Gotcha.
If I don't know some, I make a phone call. Or if it's a dispatcher they can't get in contact with somebody, I'm making a phone call trying to make sure they get out that situation. You know what I'm saying? So
we certainly appreciate that. You're listening to Super B, Bryant Robinson here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. What is it about you that gives you that helpful nature?
Well, that comes from my grandparents. We always want to help, and that's in my heart. So it's genuine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do.
Kind of living the golden rule.
That's if and then a lot of people get mad because they don't understand. They don't have the information. You know what I'm saying? I try to whatever information that I have, I try to imply that and get that to them. So that way,
information is free. You're free to share it.
Yes. And, that helps out a lot of times. Y'all have a lot of new dispatchers as well. So they don't be quick on their feet. You know what I'm saying? I've been messing with y'all, a couple of years now. So I help the situation even with that. You know what I'm saying? So I put it all together so everybody be happy. You know what I mean?
We appreciate it, Bryant. Now, speaking of dispatchers, I think I know who your primary dispatcher is, but tell us about your dispatcher and what that relationship is like.
Where Sierra is, wherever she go, I go. So we like, what I'm saying? We like sister and brother now, so we talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell when she going through something or something like that. I'm much older. So I understand, you know what I'm saying? I understand business because I done ran my own business anyway. So I don't really be so emotional about certain situations.
I got you. Now you can pick up if she's having a good day or a bad day.
Right off the hand. And that's with anybody. I'm an energy person.
Right. Now, you being a patient person, energy person, super B, helpful person, are there points, where a lot of drivers talk about the relationship with the dispatcher is a two-way street. Now, I'm sure you lift up Sierra, and I'm sure the reverse of that is true as well.
Yeah. But, sometimes, when a lot of these jobs, you know what I'm saying, not saying it's a bad thing, but they might put a little too much on the person. You know what I'm saying? And you can be either one or two things. You can be understaffed or overstaffed. And majority of the time you be understaffed. And if people, not saying my dispatcher, she's, I've been with her since she came in. She's great to me, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, you just can't throw them out there right away because they ain't ready for that 30, 40 people that you might throw at them at one time. And then, they don't handle the situation like they're supposed to.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And that energy, you feel it, like, because somebody might be calling them, not, coming at them the wrong way. And they don't understand, like, how the system ran. They don't even know, you know what I'm saying? But they coming at them like election is trying to do it personally, but it ain't got nothing to do with personal. They be You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, yeah. What do you come to, or what are you looking for when you have that interaction, that close relationship, that close conversation with your dispatcher? What are the things that are most important to you as far as what you need to know?
well, my thing is, you gotta have some kind of bond with somebody when you dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? So, I just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a people person anyway, so I rub on everybody, ain't one person, you know what I mean? So I guess because that's the giver, I do a lot of stuff for people, you know what I'm saying? But, like, they're just me, you know what I mean? It ain't got nothing to do with,
I got you.
you know what I'm saying? It's just me.
I got you. You're listening to Bryant Robinson here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Bryant lives in Riverdale, Georgia, just south of Atlanta. That's just about an hour and 45 minutes from our office in Ringgold, Georgia, the home base of Norton Transport. Bryant, have you had the chance to drop in and visit with some of us?
Yeah, I dropped in and did a surprise visit. And I met, majority of all y'all, and I think one of the owners. So
Okay, so you met Calvin Norton.
yeah.
Now, did you get a chance to spend some time with Sierra?
Well, we spoke for a little while, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to meet who I want to put a face, you know what I'm saying? Even with the people, some of the dispatchers I used to be with, I want to put a face with them too as well.
Gotcha.
So I just want to.
Now, you were talking about you started off doing the shorties. You're starting to do the longer runs now. Do you like to be home for the weekends, or do you run over the weekends?
Well, now I would love to be at home for the weekends because I like my college football. So that give me peace.
I got you. Now, living in Riverdale, Georgia, who's your team?
I want to give a shout out right now to one of my teams right now. That's doing a little something right now. That's Colorado, Buffalo. We're doing prime time.
Coach Prime.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to him.
That's quite a story that he's got going on there. Now, did you follow Prime Time when he was at Florida State and then in the NFL?
All that. I mean, that's just who he is, you know what I'm saying? So he always connected.
It's easy to pull for him. You see what he's done. I mean, what he did at Jackson and what he's doing now out in Boulder, Colorado. What do you like about him and the Buffaloes?
The camaraderie, like bringing everybody together, you know what I'm saying? And got them upbeat, the spirit, believing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm y'all Deion for y'all company, bringing people together. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be learned from what he has done with an organization, the Buffaloes that were, cellar dwellers for so long. I think they only won one game last year. Now they're sitting there ranked and undefeated at the moment, 3-0.
Yeah.
How do you kind of push that out into the trucking world as far as that kind of spirit, that kind of energy, that kind of camaraderie? Is there a lot to be learned from that?
Yeah, because like I said, when you're dealing with people, you know what I'm saying? And then not only that, I'm representing Norton too, you know what I'm saying, when I'm out and about. So you got to have good energy at all times. Don't even matter if that person ain't having good energy. I always try to reverse it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's me. So, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that, and I feel like that's Deion, you know what I'm saying? He's bringing everybody together, even though it's some doubters and naysayers. You don't worry about that. You keep pushing, and you let your work show.
Now, let's talk about that for a minute. We kind of, you really gave us some good insight to the relationship with the dispatcher, but another aspect of your relationships are obviously with customers, because you're dropping that truck off to a customer. How do you approach that? You said you were representing Norton. How do you handle that? Let's say you go to a customer that's not real friendly, not real receptive. How do you handle that situation?
Well, I mean, I done ran that several times, but that's okay with me. But like I say, once when I let him know what I'm here for, and he's aware of that, you know, and then he might sometimes they come off like real rude, but you got to readjust. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is, I do my normal. I'm gonna speak to you. Even if sometimes I might get a handshake, sometimes I might don't. But I'm gonna always be respectful. It's all about your approach. So if I come to you with a good approach, you don't know how to return. You know what I mean? So if your energy bad and I come with that good spirit, you know what I'm saying, it'll overwhelm, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm doing my job. My duty is, you know what I'm saying, be respectful.
That philosophy, the way you deal with customers, the professionalism, the respect that you carry in your day-to-day job, is that something that you kind of share with people in your network that you help out?
Yeah, because I always talk to people, because you got to keep your emotions in check at all times.
Gotcha.
So, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, y'all got a contract with these people, you know what I'm saying? But I know if it's getting out of hand, I know how to pick up the phone and give y'all a call and see if y'all can, get somebody else a call. And just, you know what I'm saying? But it should never go that far.
Take care of it right then and there.
Yeah, like with me anyway, I deal with customers anyway. I had a small convenience store for a couple of years on my own. So I deal with people, right? Different attitude, emotions, so you got to readjust. So
what was it like running a convenience store, being the business person in that?
With me, it's all about family and community. So I help the community. So, that's all I was raised on, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was coming up, but I ain't really understand, about the business or something like that. But I seen that how you can bring the community together by doing this, showing that you appreciate, you know what I'm saying? So I do that now.
Was this convenience store in the Atlanta area?
Yeah, it was in College Park, Georgia.
College Park, I got that's a growing area.
Yeah, it's a big growing area.
Now you mentioned how you're a big believer in family and community. Give us a kind of a little insight of Super B's family. What's it like?
Well, I got a wife. I've been married for 22 years.
Good for you.
I have a son that's 28 years old. I just recently he just had his first child. So I'm a granddad.
Was that your first, is that the first grandchild for you?
Yeah.
How are you adapting to being a grandfather?
Well, I pretty much raised all my nieces and nephews, so it's naturally,
Comes naturally?
Yeah, I'm a proud granddad.
Grandfather Super B. Grandfather Super B.
Super B. You hear me?
Now, how old? You said your son just recently had a baby. How old?
Yeah. So my son, he's 27. He'll be 28 this year.
I mean, the child, the baby. Is it a baby?
Oh, he's like, yeah, he's still 2 weeks old.
Oh my goodness! So you got a lot in front of you there.
Yeah.
A lot of bonding time with it.
I got to lead by example at all times.
I got you.
At all times.
So your kids are grown, but now you got a grandbaby right there. Is this something that has any influence on how much time you're on the road?
Well, like I kind of start my week. I try to start my week on a Sunday and end it on a Thursday. That give me 3 days, 2 days, something like that, somewhere in there.
You kind of almost squeeze in a 3-day weekend, almost.
Yeah.
Having that flexibility and that luxury as a driveaway driver, how important is that to you?
I value my time. So that's where one of the things I like about the company. If I can explore my time a little better, and that's the freedom of it.
What would you say to someone who's considering moving into driveaway, because you've had a lot of experience driving, a lot of life experience running a convenience store? being a family man and what your parents and grandparents taught you, what would your counsel be to someone who may be thinking about moving into Driveaway?
Well, what I always let them know it's all about information. And once you understand the information, then the approach will be different. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't understand, then that becomes the problem. So I always kind of like let them know what they're getting into from the top to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first started, I'm going to tell you the truth, I was all over the place, you know, trying to adapt to the company, you know. So it took me about a good week. Yeah, you know, one thing about me, you know, when I challenge myself, I'm going to figure it out. And I figured it out, you know. But I also started networking with other people so I can get some better understanding, you know. That's why I don't mind helping others so they won't have to go through it.
It sounds like you're a quick learner.
Quick learner, you know. And so I just try to make it where they'll be comfortable from the start, getting out the gate.
Kind of give them a little Cliff Notes version of what you need to know.
Yeah, that's very important.
You're listening to Super B, Bryant Robinson here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Bryant, you've been doing this for, I think you said 7-8 years. How much longer do you see yourself doing it?
Well, you know, you can't never put a time plate on it, but, you know, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and you making money, because the number one thing is money. I love money. So, you know, right now I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I appreciate the company, you know, for allowing me for this opportunity to be up under their authority. I appreciate that.
You're listening to Bryant Robinson here on the Six Figure Trucker, and you heard him just now say it. He loves money. It's all about the money, and it appears that it's working out pretty well for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Bryant, thank you for taking time out of your schedule before you lay your head down on the pillow and continue your transport. You've given us a lot of good advice, kind of an insight into your philosophy. What would you say is the most important thing you can do when you're on the road?
Most important thing to do when you on that road is to make sure you're paying attention and hold. Because your life needs it. And that's the truth.
The truth from Super B right there. You heard it here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Bryant, thank you so much for joining us. And hang with me for just a minute as we wrap up. We got a couple little things need to run by you, but we're signing off here. Bryant Robinson spending some time with us on the Six Figure Trucker. One last thing, Bryant. Anybody you want to give a shout out to other than Coach Prime?
Oh, yeah, I want to give several shout out. You know, I want to give a shout out to my quiz truck move was on the move. He got his own moving company. I just want to give a shout out to him. And I just recently lost somebody that was in the APD, law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a moment of silence right now for him because that's dear to my heart right now. So I want to do a moment of silence. His name is DeAndre Hardeman.
All right, Bryant, again, thank you very much for joining us. And be safe on the road. That's the most important thing for you and everyone else on the road.
All righty. And I appreciate you, man.
All right.
Take care.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.